Hello aspirants and welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. So here we are continuing with our prelims revision series for specifically designed for prelims 2025 aspirants, but of course all of you can take advantage of it. In this series we are revising the entire year's current affairs for the upcoming prelims. So let's continue with the subject of social issues. We have already seen in the previous lecture the social issue related current affairs for May, June and July. Now we will continue with that of August, September and October. So let's get started. Let's see what all news are involved over here. So the very first thing that we will see is the NIRF ranking for the colleges, universities, etc. Then the model foster care guidelines. There are certain changes. We'll see what changes there are. So earlier foster care parents can then adopt the child. The number of years, what was required earlier, what has it been changed to presently now, all those things we'll see. Then we'll talk about the bagless days. So what are these bagless days? Now during my time of education there were no bagless days as such, but now the National Education Policy has proposed bagless days and there have been certain talks about it. So we'll see what this is. Then you have the habitat rights for Juanga tribe. What are these rights? We will see that as well. Then you have Dharti Aba Janjatiya Gram Utkarsh Abhiyan. So we'll see what this Abhiyan is. Basically to know, remember that it is for the tribes, for the tribal community. Then Swachh Bharat Mission is in news because it has been 10 years since the launch of Swachh Bharat Mission. We'll see what all components it consisted of or it consists of, so on and so forth. Then of course Ayushman Bharat, that is Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana. We'll see that as well because there are certain changes. Now the senior citizens are included. We'll see that as well. Now women-led self-help groups, Lakpati Didi, and then Global Hunger Index. In last 3 months current affairs also we saw that were quite a few number of reports and indices. That is the case in social issue subject. Then you have National Health Accounts Estimates. United Nations Women has released World Survey on the Role of Women in Development. World Survey on the Role of Women in Development report. Then we'll see the e-Migrate, basically the e-Migrate portal that is there, and PM YASASVI. So PM YASASVI. YASASVI you can say, or here the pronunciation is YASASVI. It is sort of a blessing that is being given. So we'll see what this is all about. Now before we move on to the each and every topic in details, a couple of announcements here with respect to the regular batch which is starting. One is starting from 17th of April and the other from 12th May 2025. So this is ideal for the students who will be giving exam in 2026 and beyond. Right, so this is a regular batch. What do you mean by that? The classes will be held from Monday to Friday. Now throughout the day you will be attending the classes from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. There is a gap of 1 hour between. First session starts from 10 a.m. goes up to 1 p.m. Then second session from after 1 hour of break starts from 2 p.m. and goes up to 5 p.m. Now this is a one-stop solution for your entire UPSC preparation, be it prelims. Of course, the entire syllabus will be covered through the live lectures, current affairs magazines, books, content, prelims test series, mains test series, mentorship, feedback, every single thing, NCERT, standard books, whatever is required to be done for UPSC will be done over here. You don't have to look anywhere else. In fact, we advise you to, so that your success rate increases. Now, having said that, the above batches that I talked about is good for aspirants who are full-time aspirants. Full-time aspirants means not doing any job or having any commitment of college, etc., and studying full-time. But of course, there are certain aspirants, like I was an aspirant who had a job, working professionals. So for working professionals and students who might be having college commitment, etc., they can enroll for the weekend batches that are there, which happens on Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. It is going to start from April 19th. So not much of time is left. You can simply enroll and get your UPSC preparation underway. One important thing, especially for 2025 prelims aspirants, and in fact for others as well, but specifically for aspirants of 2025, the All India mock test series that is going to happen. via the Legacy IAS Academy. This is going to play a very important role because it's going to give you your all India ranking, wherein you can understand at what level you are, how much you have to improve. Of course, immediately you will be given the instant solution, basically along with the explanation for each and every question. Along with that, you will be also having the discussion session, which is going to be very beneficial, in which it's not just the explanation that is talked about or the concept that is taught to you, but certain questions: should you have solved it, should you have left it, why did you solve it, you should have left it, why should you have left it, all those questions. Because improvement of marks is not just about doing more right, but also reducing the number of wrongs. So all those skill sets will also be developed through this discussion. So hope all of you, each and every one of you, not just 2025 aspirants, 2026 aspirants can also give it, try it, attend the discussion as well, and get the learning out of it. Having said that, let's quickly move to the social issue related current affairs for August, September, and October. The very first thing is the National Institutional Ranking Framework, that is NIRF ranking. So Ministry of Education has released the 9th Education of National Institution Ranking Framework, 9th edition. Now this edition started when I was preparing for UPSC. It has been, I get to know that it's been almost 9 years now, right? So the 9th one has started over here. Now, who is the implementing agency? You should know it's the National Board of Accreditation in collaboration with the Inflibnet Center in Gandhinagar, that is in Gujarat. Now, there are certain criteria for ranking. There is 5-fold criteria. Number 1, teaching, learning and resources. Number 2, research and professional practice. Number 3, graduation outcomes, the percentage of people passing, outreach and inclusivity. And finally, peer perception. What is the peer perception? How do peers take that university or college to be? Now, if you have to see what all new additions have been there, very important, because questions can be made on this. Anything that changes, that is added, subtracted, becomes important. So here the open universities, state public universities, and very importantly the skill universities have been added. One of the key highlights of this ranking is that IIT Madras is the best educational institution in the country, and it has done that for the 6th time since 2019, followed by IISc Bengaluru, right? So IIT Madras, remember, for 6 consecutive time. Next is the Model Foster Care Guidelines of 2024. So Ministry of Women and Child Development, WCD, released the Model Foster Care Guidelines 2024. Now, with respect to this Model Guidelines 2024, let's see what the changes have been made. Now, before that, let us understand what is foster care. See, people have biological parents, but let's say someone does not have a biological parent, so the child is an orphan. Now, when the child is orphan, there are two things that is, there are many things that is possible. Let's say, for example, they can remain in an orphanage also. But apart from that, they can be taken care of by a family or by a person. So that family can be their foster family or a family that adopts them. So there are two types of things that can happen. Either the child goes in foster care, or the child is taken up by the family as an adopted child. Now, adoption happens at a later stage. That means the integration of adoption is a higher level, foster care is at a lower level, because after foster care, the child can be returned to the orphanage, can be given to someone else for foster caring. Now, why is the concept of foster caring? Why not just have adoption? That is because, foster care gives more chances, more provisions for these orphanages to find home. I'll tell you why. Simply because, let's say, many families may not be inclined towards adopting the children forever, right? And generally, adoption is done by people who do not have child, who are childless, right? Foster care generally is also done by people who already have a child. Now, people who already have a child do not go with adoption. Rather, they go with foster care. So, involving those people also in the ambit of ensuring houses for these orphans, the foster care system is also in place. I hope that makes it absolutely clear. Now, foster care is what? The placement of a child in the domestic environment of a family other than the child's biological family. So if it's a child's biological family, of course it's not a foster care. With anyone else, it's a foster care. Now this family is selected and approved by the Child Welfare Committee for providing foster care. This committee approves. Any and everyone cannot get the right to do foster care of a child because it's a sensitive, critical, important issue with huge amount of ramifications. Then what is the eligibility to foster? Now any person, irrespective of marital status, very important. So it is not necessary for you to be married in order to become a foster parent. Any person, irrespective of marital status, whether or not they have a biological son or daughter. So even if you have a biological child, it does not matter, you can still become a foster parent. So any person, irrespective of marital status and whether or not they have a biological son, daughter, to foster a child. Now, what the changes earlier, only married couples were allowed. Now even unmarried couple is allowed to have become foster parent. Now foster adoption. Previously, when the foster parents were fostering the child for 5 years, they can go for adoption. Now that limit has been reduced to 2 years. So it allows the foster parent who is already fostering the child for minimum 2 years to adopt the same child. Previously, it was 5 years. So that limit has now been reduced, making it more easy for adoption of a child, which is probably a good step forward. Next up is the bagless days. Now Union Ministry of Education has announced guidelines for implementation of bagless days in standard 6, 7th and 8th. That means from classes 6 to 8. Now this is coming in sync with the National Education Policy 2020, which recommended that all students will participate in a 10-day bagless period. How I wish that it was there during my days as well. So this was for again 6 to 8 standard, where they intern with local vocational experts. Vocational experts means experts who are having certain skills, doing certain things. So they will learn certain practical things because they'll be going without bags. Bags have books which gives you theories. So chuck the theories for few days and focus on the practicals, the vocational skills. Next is Dharti Abha Janjatiya Gram Utkarsh Abhiyan. So the Prime Minister has launched this Gram Utkarsh Abhiyan. It is also known as Pradhan Mantri Janjatiya Unnat Gram Abhiyan, that is Pradhan Mantri Juga. So you should remember that both are the same. It is for improving the socio-economic conditions of the tribal communities. That means the social as well as economic conditions of the tribal communities. Now it targets to empower around 5 crore tribal people. Important number. These are not very exact number. It's a broad generic 5 crore number. So these kind of numbers can be asked in your exams as well. Definitely, they instead of 5 crore, they will mention 5 lakh or 50 crore. So they will give a very different, huge amount of difference so that you can easily guess it. But at least for that, you should remember it to some extent. Now, of course, it underlines the commitment of tribal welfare, definitely. Now, there are total 4 goals under Pradhan Mantri Juga, PM Juga scheme. The goal 1 is developing enabling infrastructure which enables the tribal community, promotion of economic empowerment, universalization of access to good education and healthy lives and dignified aging is the goal 4. Next up is Swachh Bharat Mission. Why in news? Because it has been 10 years since its launch. So key achievements, what are key achievements? 11 crore household toilets have been constructed. Huge, that's a huge number. 5.5 lakh villages declared open defecation free and ODF plus, ODF free, ODF plus. Now SBMU, U stands for urban, 63 lakh household latrines constructed, 64 and 1429 cities declared water plus and ODF plus respectively. So these are certain numbers. Don't have to exactly remember, but at least 11 crore. The big numbers which are generic in nature should be remembered. 11 crore household toilets constructed under this, around 5.5 lakhs. So the question can be, all the villages have been declared open defecation free? No, that is false. Now, what all the government approaches were there under the Swachh Bharat Mission? Let us see that. One is the Swachh Sarvekshan, conducted since 2018 to rank the states and districts' performance on key quantitative and qualitative Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin. G's for Gramin parameters. Next is Swachh Iconic Places. Now, it involves for maintaining cleanliness of 100 iconic heritage, religious and or cultural places. So specific focus on 100 iconic places under Swachh Bharat Mission. So Swachh Bharat Mission, guys, is not just of one particular thing of constructing toilets, etc., but it is also for seeing the commitment of the governance system of the district, of the states with respect to prices. It also ranks, and when it ranks, it is an achievement for a state or a district. That's why on many places in many cities you will find that at many places you will find that the walls in which such a Sarvekshan, green city, clean city, all those things being written, people are actually committing to improve the cleanliness of the city, district, etc. Then of course Swachh Iconic Places, talking about places of utmost importance, religious importance, cultural importance, heritage importance with respect to heritage, etc. So 100 iconic such places are also talked about. Then challenge fund, which facilitates meeting service level benchmarks with respect to sanitation and solid waste management. That is also a part of Swachh Bharat Mission. So basically you should know what these things are and that they are part of Swachh Bharat Mission. Then you had retrofit to Twin Pit Abhiyan, ensures safe disposal of the fecal sludge in rural areas. So see, the issue here is the toilets you may make it, but what about the waste, how to dispose? So this takes care of the disposal. Then you have garbage free cities, star rating protocol, and finally Swachh Bharat Kosh, that is a fund created in the finance ministry that allows public sector, corporates, individuals to contribute the funds in this Kosh. Kosh means fund. Next is Ayushman Bharat, that is PM Jan Arogya Yojana. So Union Cabinet has approved what? The cover for senior citizens, that is citizens 70 years and above, under the Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana. So what is the eligibility criteria? All the citizens age 70 and above. Simply the statement can be aged more than 70. No, age 70 also is included. So age 70 and above, regardless of their income. So it can be a billionaire also, but that person would still be included in this. The scheme is said to benefit around 6 crore senior citizens. What are the benefits offered? They will receive a family-based cover of 5 lakh rupees. Now, very importantly, if the family is already insured under Ayushman Bharat and having a capacity of 5 lakh rupees, this 5 lakh rupees will be over and above the existing 5 lakh rupees which the family may be entitled to. That is very important. So that's what it says. Those already covered by Ayushman Bharat will receive an additional top up of 5 lakh rupees annually, which is separate from the family's existing cover. Now, ease of access, eligible senior citizens will be issued a distinct card. So Ayushman Bharat card is there, a separate, distinct, different card will be issued for the senior citizens. Next is the Global Hunger Index. Now this is the index that India has rejected since a lot of times and has said that it consists of a lot of issues, and it does. It does means what? It says that it is calculating the global hunger or the global hunger index for a country, but it just takes into account majorly the children age 0 to 5 or age in the first 5 years. So that is a problem. However, having said that, even if that is a problem, we can still accept it by accepting it as a index which takes care of the children only. However, just remember that it is a thing that has been rejected by the government many times, which will become very important for your mains examination. But for prelims, let us see what is important. So Global Hunger Index 2024 released by the Concern Worldwide and the Wealth Hunger Hilf, that is a NGO from Ireland and Germany respectively. Wealth Hunger Hilf, however you may read it, it is the German words. That is why this is not a spelling mistake. It is spelled like that. However you pronounce, just know this. Wealth Hunger Hilf is what is an NGO from Germany, and Concern Worldwide is an NGO from Ireland. Both together has released this report. Now India ranks 105th out of 127 countries. India at least is now doing better. Previously it was 111, now 115. It is falling under, however, it is still falling under the serious category with 41 other nations including Pakistan and Afghanistan. So India is in the same category as the countries like Pakistan and Afghanistan. So that is a serious issue with respect to this particular index. Definitely we can say that we are definitely doing better than them, but when you talk about a group consists of a range. So if this is the lowest range of the group, the upper range of the group, we might be somewhere here and Pakistan somewhere here. So that is why in the same group, but there might definitely be differences. The same is the case in Human Development Index also. Both Pakistan and India lie in the same group, but India on the higher side of that group and Pakistan on the lower side of that group. So do not get confused with respect to the grouping. Now, the Global Hunger Index scores. So basically it takes into account certain things. We will see what those things are. So the very first thing is undernourishment. Excuse me, undernourishment. What is undernourishment? Basically insufficient calorie intake. Your calorie intake is X, you are taking less than X, you are undernourished. The share of the population with insufficient calorie intake, it is a straightforward thing. The other things are confusing, so stay focused on this. Next is child stunting. Now child stunting means the child of up to 5 years of age is not having adequate height. So how we measure that? The share of children under age 5 who have low height for their age. So by the age of 5 you should have X amount of height. Your height is less, that means you are stunted. So stunting is the share of children under the age of 5 who have low height for their age, reflecting chronic undernourishment. Chronic means long-term undernourishment. See, if I am undernourished today, a child undernourished today but is not chronically undernourished will grow tomorrow and keep on growing. But if the child is chronically undernourished for a long period of time, that's when the growth gets stunted. That is why this denotes chronic undernourishment. Then you have the child wasting, that is the share of children under age of 5 who have low weight. So from wastings W, remember weight, who have low weight for their height, which reflects acute undernourishment, which reflects acute undernourishment. And then child mortality, share of children who die before their 5th birthday. Of course, their 5th birthday, that is child mortality. Now, this partly reflects the fatal mix of inadequate nutrition and unhealthy environment. This is not just the nutrition, but the unhealthy environment also, because there will be a lot of communicable diseases, improper sanitation, improper drinking water, so on and so forth. So this is also reflecting improper or unhealthy environment. Next is e-Migrate portal. Now, this e-Migrate portal, who has launched it? Our External Affairs Minister, Honorable Jayanagara ji, has launched the e-Migrate portal. So is it because the External Affairs Ministry is involved? Yes, it is. Ministry of External Affairs and Ministry of Labor and Employment, two ministries are involved over here, have launched the e-Migrate portal and the mobile app. Now, what is this portal all about? This portal is there to facilitate and manage the migration of Indian workers seeking employment abroad. Now, I hope you understand why the External Affairs Ministry is involved. It is a very good step. When people move abroad, migrate abroad for jobs, they face a lot of problems, especially people who are going for minuscule low-level jobs as well, and not to say even white-collar job people face it. So it is a very good step that has been taken by the government, so much so that, you know, when these kind of migration happen, it at times leads to modern day slavery, wherein you move abroad, your passport is taken, it is not given back to you, your freedom is denied, you are not able to return. All those issues happen, which leads to modern day slavery. Now through this portal, it is going to have a very positive impact on this issue which was going on. So this is a very thoughtful, very much required decision that is being done, the step that has been taken. So what it does, it aims to provide various services to migrant workers, including information access, documentation, helpline support, etc. Helpline support and all is made to address these issues that are being faced. Of course, it features 24/7 multilingual helpline. Now this is also a beautiful thing, multilingual helpline. I hope that all the languages mentioned in the schedule of the Indian Constitution are at least included in this. And I believe that will be the thing. Now once the things get more clear, the guidelines come out, we'll look at that as well. So it's a multilingual helpline and will be integrated with DigiLocker for secure document storage and obtain paperless clearance at immigration. Another beautiful thing over here. See, what happens is, as I said, the passports and all are taken. So if in DigiLocker beforehand only you are saving those passports, your Aadhaar card, all the important documents in DigiLocker, if you have saved it in DigiLocker, it is considered to be as good as original. So even if that is taken away, you can still produce this particular thing, which will be considered as good as original and will provide you paperless clearance at immigration. Amazing step by the government of India, by the External Affairs Ministry, by the Minister of External Affairs, by the Labor Ministry, by everyone who is involved. Moving ahead, PM YASASVI Yojana. So YASASVI, as I said, it was sort of a blessing, Yashasvi Bhava, when you say, right? So what is this all about? Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. It highlighted the impact of PM YASASVI. That is, now many schemes that are there, it has a long form, so does this. It is Young Achievers Scholarship Award Scheme for Vibrant India. Young Achievers Scholarship Award Scheme for Vibrant India is what is being talked about. So what? So it is a scheme, scholarship scheme for whom? For the other backward classes, that is the OBCs. Then economically backward classes, denotified, that is the EBC, as well as nomadic tribes students. So it is for OBCs, EBC and nomadic tribes. Nomadic tribes means the tribes that wander. Now they wander from one place to another like a caravanserai. So it is for all of them. Now what is the objective of the scheme? The objective of the scheme is to streamline the educational support for whom? For the socially and economically disadvantaged student. So socially disadvantaged student, if you talk about OBC, of course we are talking about the other backward community, of course socially disadvantaged, right? Now you have the economically backward section, of course economically disadvantaged, and then you have the nomadic tribes. Now when you talk about the nomadic tribes, they are socially disadvantaged as well as economically disadvantaged. What about EBC? Can they also be socially disadvantaged? Absolutely yes. The EBC can also be a part of other backward class or SCs, STs, etc. and definitely be socially disadvantaged. Can the OBCs be economically disadvantaged? Absolutely yes. The OBCs there will be OBCs not coming under the creamy layer, having very low income, etc. So basically speaking, now what we can deduce is the OBC, the EBC, as well as the nomadic tribes, all of them are or can be socially as well as economically disadvantaged, and this scheme is for them. Now one more thing here is to be noted, that it is an umbrella scheme. Now what is an umbrella scheme? Generally the umbrella schemes that are there, which is very generic and comprehensive, holistic in nature, it will not deal with just one thing, one specific thing or issue, but with multiple things, long-term solutions, and it will be broad-based. That is what an umbrella scheme is. It does not have any particular specific definition, but generally it will look like a broad-based scheme which will have multiple components under it, multiple schemes can be there under it, multiple sub-schemes can be there under it. Such kind of a scheme which has multiple schemes, multiple sub-schemes, multiple components under it is known as an umbrella scheme. So this particular scheme is an umbrella scheme and it aims to provide quality education. So very number one thing is education. What kind of education? Quality education to students from other backward classes, economically backward classes and denotified tribes. So How does it aim to provide quality education? We talked about that it provides scholarship. Then how is quality education related to it? See, how is it related to is because for education you need money. Now there are various means come merit scheme, etc., which provides you some amount of scholarship. When you get that scholarship, that helps you to get enrollment in certain colleges which might have certain fees which you can pay with the help of the scholarship that you are getting. And that is why hence this link is present, wherein the scholarship can actually ensure that you get quality education, because you can utilize this money for getting enrollment into various college, universities, etc. So this was all about the social issue subject for the month of August, September and October. In the next lecture, we will be seeing the subsequent months of social issues, current affairs, which we are revising for the entire year for the upcoming prelims 2025. Thank you.